What if just about everything we think we know about aliens is, well, wrong? Today, we're diving into a really different theory about non-human intelligence, one that suggests the answer isn't way out there in the stars, but maybe, just maybe, it's been right here all along, hidden in plain sight.
You know the question, right? It's the one we've been asking for generations. We see something bizarre in the sky, and our minds immediately jump to visitors from another planet, another star system. It's a story we all know and love.
But what if that's the wrong question entirely? What if the intelligence we've been looking for isn't from out there at all? What if it's been here the whole time, just vibrating on a different frequency, just outside of what we can see? Now that's the incredible idea we're going to unpack today. Okay, let's get right into it. Now, before we explore this new hypothesis, we really have to understand the old one, the idea that unidentified aerial phenomena are piloted by beings from other worlds, and take a hard look at why it might not tell the whole story. So, this is what's officially known as the Extra-Terrestrial Hypothesis. You know the one. It's the classic tale. Intelligent beings from far, far away, crossing these unimaginable cosmic distances just to come and visit Earth. But, you know, when you really start to pick it apart, this idea runs into some big problems. First, there's the travel problem. The distances between stars they're just mind-bogglingly huge. Then you have to ask, why? Why would a super advanced civilization spend all this time and energy just to watch us? And then there's the content of the messages. A lot of reports mention warnings about our planet, our environment, which feels kind of personal, doesn't it? And finally, the really weird stuff, like telepathy or objects that just dematerialize. The simple nuts and bolts spacecraft idea just can't explain that.
So all of these nagging questions have pushed some people to think outside the box. And that brings us to the work of J. Alfred, an independent researcher who has put forward a completely new framework for thinking about all this.
And here is the fundamental shift in perspective. Instead of extraterrestrial, which means from beyond Earth, J. Alfred proposes intra-terrestrial. The idea here is that these beings aren't from another star system, they're from another Earth, one that exists in the same space as ours, but in a state we can't normally perceive.
Okay, let's break that down. The Inter-Terrestrial Hypothesis basically says these intelligences come from a dark Earth. Imagine a parallel version of our planet right here, right now, but it's made of a different kind of matter, dark matter. So it's totally invisible to us and our current instruments.
Now I know what you're thinking. How could life possibly exist in a world like that? Well, this is where the theory gets really fascinating, because it suggests a completely different kind of biology.
The whole idea is built on the concept of dark matter. Now, we know what makes up most of the matter in the universe, but we know almost nothing about it. And as physicist Lisa Randall says, it's probably not just one boring particle. It could be super complex, just like the normal matter that you and I are made of.
So, J. Alfred's hypothesis is that life on this dark Earth could be based on plasma. Yep, the fourth state of matter. And it turns out plasma can act in ways that are shockingly lifelike. It can self-organize into really complex structures. It can create its own boundary, like a cell wall. It can absorb and use energy from its environment, which is basically metabolism. And get this, it can even hold a type of memory, like a hard drive, where its past state affects its present.
So, try to picture it. We're not talking about life made of carbon and water. We're talking about life made of pure, self-organizing energy, like huge, single-celled organisms made entirely of electromagnetic fields.
Okay, I get it, this is a pretty wild idea. But here's the payoff. What makes it so compelling? Well, it might just be the one key that unlocks a whole bunch of different mysteries all at the same time.
This is where the theory really starts to shine. You know those physics-defying maneuvers that unidentified aerial phenomena pull off? Well, if you're a being made of low-mass plasma, instant acceleration and hairpin turns are no big deal. The idea of ghosts or apparitions? Maybe that's just one of these beings popping into our reality for a moment. Telepathic communication? For a being made of electromagnetic fields, communicating via waves would be totally natural. And objects just vanishing? That could simply be the being shifting its state so it's not interacting with our world anymore.
So, the theory proposes that these aren't all separate mysteries. From unexplained aerial craft to ghosts to ancient stories about jinns or spirits, they could all be different flavors of the same core thing. This invisible world occasionally bleeding over into ours.
So look, if there's even a tiny chance that this is true, it means we've been looking for intelligence in all the wrong places. It would completely flip our entire search on its head.
Instead of the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, J. Alfred suggests we need a search for interterrestrial intelligence. It means we should be pointing our instruments not up at the stars, but down, right here at our own planet, looking for the signs of a hidden biosphere that shares our world.
And check this out. This hypothesis completely inverts what we think is most likely. It suggests the highest probability isn't aliens, but maybe simpler plasma-based life forms that exist in our own atmosphere. A bit less likely, but still way more probable than visitors from the stars, would be these more complex beings from dark Earth. And way at the bottom of the list, the classic extraterrestrial visitors.
But the theory goes one step further, and this is where it gets really personal. It touches on this idea from biology called endosymbiosis, where different organisms actually merge to become a single new organism. The theory speculates that maybe human consciousness itself is a kind of hybrid, our physical, visible body coexisting with an invisible counterpart made of this dark plasma.
And that leaves us with one final, truly mind-blowing question to chew on. If our own consciousness is somehow connected to this hidden world, could it be that we are the very aliens we've been searching for all this time?